Hello, little dreamer. Welcome back to Koala Moon, where magical stories help your heart slow down, your eyes feel heavy, and your dreams feel soft as clouds. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to Koala Moon so you can visit us every night and never miss a bedtime adventure. Now, snuggle up, close your eyes if you'd like, and let your imagination drift to a quiet little village where our story begins. In the middle of a calm valley, surrounded by soft green hills, there lived a little boy named Leo. Leo had a small wooden bed by the window and a cozy blue blanket that smelled faintly of lavender. But more than anything, Leo loved looking at the stars. Every single night, after his mother kissed his forehead and the house grew quiet, he would push back the covers, slip out of bed, and tiptoe to the window. From there, he could see the entire sky, a wide ocean of black velvet scattered with sparkling silver stars. Some nights, the stars shimmered so brightly that they lit up the whole room and cast tiny patterns on the floor. And every single night, Leo whispered the same words, "Goodnight, stars. Sleep well." And sometimes, just sometimes, he thought the stars twinkled a little brighter, like they were whispering back, "Good night, Leo." But one special night, everything was different. That evening, the stars looked tired. They didn't sparkle the way they usually did. Some hung lower in the sky, their light dim and pale. A few even hid behind wispy clouds, as though they were too sleepy to shine at all. Leo pressed his forehead to the glass and frowned. "Why are you so tired, little stars?" he asked softly, his voice barely louder than a breath. And then, to his great surprise, a soft, musical voice floated into his room, like the gentle sound of wind chimes on a summer evening. "We're too sleepy to shine tonight. We've worked so hard lighting up the skies, but now we can barely stay awake." Leo's eyes widened in astonishment. He looked left and right, but his room was empty. Who's talking?" he whispered. The stars giggled faintly, a warm, sleepy sound, and said, "It's us, silly boy, the stars. We need your help tonight. You're the only one who can guide us to rest properly." Leo felt his heart thump in his chest. "Me? You want me to help?" "Of course, little dreamer. You have the kind of heart that can guide sleepy stars home." The stars' faint voices continued. "All you need to do is climb the quiet hill at the edge of your village. At the very top, you'll find the gate to the Garden of Sleeping Stars. We'll meet you there." Leo turned and glanced at his bed, warm, soft, and waiting. But when he looked back at the weary stars above, he knew what he had to do. He eased the front door open and stepped into the cool night air. It was quieter outside than he expected. The village lay still, all its windows dark, its streets empty except for the lazy flicker of fireflies. Leo hugged his blanket tight around his shoulders and began walking toward the quiet hill. The hill sat at the edge of the village, smooth and round, its grass glinting faintly in the moonlight. As he got closer, he thought he could hear it humming, a low, gentle sound that felt like a lullaby. The stars above shimmered faintly, sending down beams of light that pointed the way. With each step, Leo felt the ground beneath his feet grow softer, almost like he was walking on a giant pillow. His slippers left behind glowing footprints that faded slowly as he moved higher and higher. By the time he reached the very top of the hill, his breath caught in his throat, because there, just ahead of him, stood a wooden gate covered in shimmering vines, its surface glowing with soft moonlight. The air around it sparkled, and tiny silver petals drifted down from nowhere, settling in the grass. On the gate was a little wooden sign, written in delicate, glowing letters. "Welcome to the Garden of Sleeping Stars." Leo stared at it, his heart beating faster and faster. Then he reached out, his small fingers brushing the cool wood, and slowly, he pushed the gate open. On the other side, a faint golden path lined with tiny lanterns waited for him. And beyond the path, he could see faint shapes, dozens, maybe hundreds, of sleepy little stars floating just above the ground, their light dim but waiting. The stars' voices rose again, soft and welcoming. "Come closer, little dreamer. Help us find our sleep." Leo took a deep breath, hugged his blanket a little tighter, and stepped through the gate into a magical night he would never forget. Leo stepped through the shimmering gate, and the air immediately felt different, softer, warmer, and full of a quiet magic that made his skin tingle. The path before him was lined with tiny golden lanterns, each swinging gently as though welcoming him. The ground sparkled faintly with silver dust that tickled his slippers. Overhead, the sleepy stars floated low, closer than he had ever seen them, glowing faintly like candles almost ready to go out. Some were round and plump, others tiny and delicate, and all of them seemed to sway gently in the cool, quiet breeze. Their whispers floated down to him, carried on the air. "Thank you for coming, little dreamer. We're so tired, so very tired. Please help us rest." Leo's heart thumped in his chest. He clutched his blue blanket tighter and whispered back, "I'll help you, I promise." As he walked along the path, a new sound reached his ears, soft and musical, like chimes swaying in the wind. Ahead, where the path curved, the lanterns grew brighter, and a figure appeared. It was a bear, but not just any bear. This bear shimmered like moonlight, its fur a mix of silver and cream. On its head sat a crown made of tiny, glowing stars, and around its neck was a scarf that sparkled like a river in the night. The bear smiled gently and said, "Welcome, little dreamer. I am the Star Keeper. You've come to help the stars sleep, haven't you?" Leo nodded quickly. "Yes, but I don't know what to do." The Star Keeper chuckled softly, the sound as soothing as a lullaby. "That's all right. You've already done the hardest part. You listened when the stars called you. Now, walk with me. I'll show you the way." Leo fell into step beside the Star Keeper, who walked slowly but gracefully, each of its paws leaving behind a faint glow. "The stars you see here," the Star Keeper explained in a deep, calm voice, "work very hard every night to light up the sky for all the dreamers below. But, just like you, they need their rest, too. Every now and then, they grow so tired they forget how to drift off. That's why we have the garden, a safe place where they can close their eyes and recharge their light." They turned a corner, and Leo gasped softly. Before him stretched a wide field of soft grass, sprinkled with tiny... He reached up and cupped his hands beneath the smallest, faintest star he could see. It was warm and soft, like holding a tiny ball of glowing cotton. "Hi there," Leo whispered. "You must be really tired. Let me help you." The little star gave the tiniest, sleepiest flicker in response, a quiet thank you, and Leo laid it down gently in a fluffy hammock, shaped like a crescent moon. He tucked the star in with a strand of shimmering mist and softly said, "Good night." The star let out a faint sparkle and dimmed happily, settling into its rest. One by one, Leo moved from star to star, helping each find a perfect place to sleep. In nests of silver feathers, on soft pillows of light, or floating in gentle pools of moonlit water. With every star he tucked in, the field grew quieter and calmer, the whispers fading into soft sighs of contentment. At last, only one star was left, the biggest and brightest of them all, hovering just above Leo's head. It blinked slowly, tired but unsure, and whispered faintly, "What if I forget how to shine tomorrow?" Leo reached up, stood on tiptoe, and held the big star close to his chest. "You won't forget," he said softly, "because your light isn't just up there. It's already inside you. You just need to rest now and let it grow bright again." The star gave a faint shimmer, almost like a little laugh, and nestled itself onto a pillow of glowing moss, finally drifting into peaceful sleep. Leo looked around. Every star in the field now glowed faintly in their sleep, the whole garden shining softly like a quiet sky brought down to earth. The star keeper appeared beside him, his silver crown twinkling faintly. "You've done beautifully, little dreamer," the star keeper said in a voice full of pride. "The stars will remember your kindness when they light the skies tomorrow." Leo felt warmth spread through his chest. He smiled sleepily and hugged his blanket close. "Can I stay a little longer?" he asked. "Of course," said the star keeper, "but when you're ready, there is one more place you must see before you go home." Leo looked up at the peaceful stars, their quiet breaths rising like tiny sparkles into the night, and wondered what awaited him next in this magical garden. The star keeper stood beside Leo, its soft silver fur glowing faintly, and the golden lanterns lining the field of sleeping stars flickered like tiny hearts beating in the quiet. "You've done wonderfully tonight," the star keeper said, his kind eyes shining. "The stars will wake up brighter tomorrow because of you. But before you return home, there's one last place you must see." Leo, still hugging his blanket, looked its edges trailing silver mist. "To the heart of the garden," he said over his shoulder. "Come, little dreamer. It is where all star journeys begin and end." Leo followed quietly. The path curved gently through soft grass and tiny flowers that glowed faintly in the moonlight. He passed more little hammocks, some still swaying slightly, and a few stars murmured sleepily as he walked by. Thank you, little dreamer." At last, they reached the archway. It was tall and graceful, made of woven vines glittering with dew. Beyond it stretched a circular clearing, its floor covered in mist that sparkled faintly like the Milky Way had spilled across the ground. In the very center, a pool of quiet, liquid light shimmered. It looked like someone had caught a piece of the moon and melted it into water. "This," said the star keeper, "is the heart of the garden, where stars are born and where they come to rest. It remembers every kind word, every gentle touch, every dreamer who has helped them along the way." Leo stepped closer to the pool. It rippled softly, and to his surprise, tiny glowing shapes began to appear. Little pictures of his hands cradling the stars, his smile as he tucked them into their beds, his quiet whispers of "good night." "See," said the star keeper, "the stars carry your kindness inside them now. And tomorrow, When they wake up and climb back into the sky, they'll shine a little brighter because of you. Leo stared at the glowing pool, his heart feeling so big and warm he thought it might burst. He knelt down and dipped his fingers into the water. It was cool and soft, like touching a cloud. "Will they remember me?" he asked. "Always," said the Starkeeper. "And whenever you look up at the sky, they'll remember to twinkle just for you." Leo felt his eyelids growing heavy. The quiet of the garden was wrapping around him like his own blue blanket. The stars in the field yawned and sighed in their sleep. Even the lantern seemed to blink slowly now. "It's time to go home, little dreamer," the Starkeeper murmured gently. Leo stood up, reluctant but ready. "Will I be able to come back?" The Starkeeper smiled. "You can return any time you listen to the quiet. The garden is always here, waiting for you." As Leo walked back along the lantern-lit path, the stars in their nests and hammocks whispered faintly, "Good night, Leo. Thank you. Dream well."